go. What's going on, everybody?
What up?
Welcome in. Welcome in. Let me get this turned off. God dang it.
I turn on my light so you can see me more pale.
Do it, dude. Yeah, this is why usually you do the ones. Anyways, hey, what's up? We're missing somebody.
Yeah.
And we miss them dearly, and it's throwing us all off. No, what's up? Hey, it's your boy Tushka. It's Josh. And yeah, man, it's just me and you tonight.
Yep.
Sol is on a little bit of vacay, helping her mom out with something, but...
All right, that's it. Fantasy football show.
Exactly, yeah. Let's go. Fantasy fuck around. No. Really no NFL other than
No.
Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Probably definitively going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Who knows? But
I mean, they're bitching about him not showing up for OTAs when he hadn't even signed a contract yet. So
That's
okay.
weird. Yeah. Kind of weird, but no. What is going on in the world of sports elsewhere? We will crack the bat and we'll get this shit started because we're gonna run the bases, man.
Yep.
Yeah, Josh, how's everything going on your side, man? I mean, things are
I was really preparing to talk shit. And then you round, and then the Royals round the bases three times, and the Reds only ran it 2. But we did take the series. We didn't sweep, unfortunately. Yep. But you know why we lost today? I give you a hint. It's because we were 500 going into this game. And guess what the Reds are allergic to? Getting over 500.
Yep.
So I think that put the Royals at 4 or 5 games over, like 4 games over 500, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, we are a little bit. I'm gonna have to share something. Hopefully, it doesn't go on screen.
It did.
It did. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Well, that's what happens. But yeah, no. I mean, you're talking about the Reds and the Royals. Yeah, they definitely went up against each other and did pretty good. I mean, we're getting to the heat map here in a little bit as far as that, but. Yeah, I mean, you got some teams that are kind of really distancing themselves from the rest of the pack. You got some that are actually kind of dropping considerably. Looking at you, Anaheim. Don't know what's going on there, but yeah, what else do you have in the world of baseball for us?
I can tell you why the Angels started to drop because the Pope is a White Sox fan. So all of that Holy Spirit left the Angels and went to the White Sox, which is why the White Sox beat the Mets today.
So this is like them like leaving and going with Satan, right? It's like that schism that happened in heaven, right? Those angels left. But I thought that was Houston. I thought Houston was where Satan lives. No?
I mean, it's really hot there. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean,
we're never gonna let it go, Houston. You're a bunch of cheaters. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're not as bad as the Rockies, though. So they might be eliminated from the playoffs before the All-Star break with the way that they're going. So it's pretty crazy there on that. But I mean, the Mets are still going to be good. The Yankees are still doing well. I believe the Phillies are doing well, even though Bryce Harper got beamed and they asked the pitcher after the game, they were like, "Did you do it on purpose?" Like, "Yeah, I do it on purpose. I'll do it again." It's like, okay, damn, dude. I don't know what Bryce Harper did to you, but that pitcher was pissed off about that. But I mean, that's pretty much all I got. The Reds are they want to flirt and be like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna finally get over the hump. We're gonna be good." No. You are not allowed happiness. You're allowed hope and crushed dreams. That's all you're allowed. They give you a piece of cake and say it's really good, but it's sour as shit. So that's what I'm dealing with as a Reds fan.
Yeah, right. As a Red fan, but you put this in our chat, so I thought you were gonna bring it up.
I was trying to like spin to it, but I was waiting for you to like get it up. So I was like, I don't know.
We got to have the lead, bud. It's called they're called segues for a reason. But yeah, the Reds luckily are not the Rockies, even though they share a common letter. But the Rockies are on pace to lose 136 games this season, which would pass the 1899. That's right, 1899. God bless it, dude. Cleveland Spiders.
Yeah.
Don't hate the name, actually. You know what I mean? Like Spiders. Really weird, kind of creepy, kind of gross, but kind of
Well,
invokes a little bit
that
of
was
fear.
brought up when they stopped and they decided not to do their previous name, and so Spiders was being brought up because they were named that previously, but they landed on Guardians. So.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of dig it. Not a Cleveland one though. You know, I mean, I feel like it's got to be like Sacramento Spiders or something. Anyways, Spiders were 20-134 for the most losses by an MLB team, nearly at the inception of the MLB. So this is horribly historic. But yeah, I mean, do you think the Rockies can and will get a little bit of a bump to where they do not end up setting history?
You would think, but the White Sox went, what was it, 41-121 or something like that last year. So, which was the other historically bad season, I guess, since obviously it's not since 1899, but like since they went to a 162 game season, that was the worst. They had the worst record in baseball. So, because this was only 154, if I'm doing my math correctly in my head, or 136 games. 130. Yeah, they played 154 games, and I'd say 162. So that's why, like, yes, they could literally match the Cleveland Spiders, much less they're nipping on the White Sox heels as far as being having the worst season in the history of baseball. Which I believe the best season in baseball is still the Seattle Mariners. That was back when Ichiro was in his prime, I believe. But that's just stats off the top of my head that I'm rattling off for that.
I like it. Yeah, looking at the worst. Of course, you got the 1886 to 1990.
Jeremy.
No, the 1900s. Jeremy. What's up, dog? Welcome to the chat, bro. Yeah, man, hopefully you're safe with all the storms that we've been having in Oklahoma City area. But yeah, we're talking about, baseball. Yeah, you got the Spiders. You also have the Pittsburgh Alleghenies. I don't know what the heck that was. Like allegory? Who knows? Louisville Cardinals, St. Louis Browns, Washington Nationals, Kansas City Cowboys, right? So the old NL, but when you talk about the modern era, the White Sox are actually number 5. Because you have Philadelphia Athletics, Boston Braves, New York Mets, and the Washington Senators. Excuse me. Oh man, so allergy season, thank God. But yeah, I mean the White Sox last year with a 253 winning percentage. It's not as bad this year, but yeah, and that's kind of hard to read for the fine folks at home. But we will get to it because looking there at the bottom, talking about the Rockies, they are at 163 as far as their win percentage. They are 8-41. We have almost played 50 games and you only win 8. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, the White Sox aren't doing much better because they're 15-35.
No.
But they are nearly double the win percentage. But yeah, no, I mean, you jump into the top, right? Let's talk about the good. I mean, you see Detroit. I mean, they're just on a tear at 660. Right behind you got the Phillies. Then you have the Dodgers, Yankees, Cubs, Mets, and then we'll talk about the Mariners. And then you got the Mariners, all of them being above the 500 range at 600 or better. But anything on here that really sticks out to you? I know we kind of referred to the slump that is. I mean, I said Anaheim. It's just because they're always going to be in Anaheim in my head. But the Los Angeles Angels, as far as they kind of started off, pretty decent, and have just since then been on a losing streak. And yeah. But what you got, man?
Atlanta, because they're getting healthy. So that's why they started off really bad, because Acuna, they're arguably their best player, was out, but now he is back and they're playing good baseball right now. So I expect Atlanta to start climbing up those charts. And I'm surprised that Cleveland is where they are. I figured they'd be more like in the top 10 for how they're playing. But I'm not too worried about, see, this is what Seattle does every year. They're like, they do decent regular season, and then they get to the playoffs and they forget what they're doing. They're going to do that. But seeing Boston right now just being right there at the 500 mark is still odd. Right there with Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean, and I believe it was last week. They were above 500 by a decent portion. But yeah, they have kind of dropped a little bit or meandered back to 500. Just even from a few games ago. I mean, if you kind of look at the heat map there, and that's why we bring this up, is because it shows kind of who's heating up, who's cooling down, and
who never got started.
Yeah, and who never got started. If you're from Miami, Miami did start off decent, but Pittsburgh, Baltimore, or Chicago, or Colorado. But yeah, I mean, but you, like looking at the Athletics, I mean, they had a little bit of a good streak, but have not as of late. But then you talk about people that are on a little bit of a streak. I mean, you also got to talk about Toronto, and they're right at 500, but they're getting back up there. Kind of climbing the ranks, so to say. But yeah, I mean, Atlanta, I mean, you just kind of see, that red as it dissipates and gets to 500. Same thing with Minnesota. They're with the Twins. I mean, they were, sub 500 just a few games ago. So them turning around on a winning streak, it looks like they won, 6 of the last 7. So, yeah. So that's very interesting to see it now that we're even in, week 8. Going into this. And again, these are dropped on Thursdays. So a new one will drop tomorrow. Again, shout out to Hooligan99 on Reddit for doing this. I really kind of want to do this for my fantasy teams.
Right.
Just so I kind of look back and be like, all right, who's cooling down, man? So I'm not sure how that would work. I mean, luckily we only have 17 games to really worry about, but 18 weeks.
Not if you join a dynasty league. You got a whole year to worry about that stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, we made some moves. We made some moves. We made some moves.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
We had our dynasty draft here a couple weeks ago, but for baseball, I mean, anything else on the MLB side of things? And
no,
let us know in the chats if you guys got anything, to kind of discuss or anything. If you just want to keep hating on Ohio as a whole, let us know.
So Cincinnati does pretty well on hating itself.
Yeah.
So, but no, it's a long season, and a lot of baseball left. But right now, if I'm Tigers, Dodgers, Philly, Yankees, like right there, Chicago and the Mets, I'm feeling pretty good. Because I think they're just solid top to bottom as far as those teams are concerned.
Yep. Yep, no, definitely. And speaking of solid, man, we got to move on to softball, baby. Because we're talking about the NCAA softball tournament, also known as the Women's College World Series.
Yep.
I had to close all my tabs, but I did have the bracket pull it up. So let me get that back real quick. But while I do, there are some teams that won. And in no particular order, here they are.
Little squib left side, tough play on the first. McEnroe Marinas ends it with a strong play. The 4-time defending champions will defend their title in OKC. Oklahoma wins the Norman Super Regional.
Yes, that is right. OU! Let's go. Let's go. Back to back, conference championships. Even though we had to do co-conference champion. But back to the final 8. Oklahoma does go. And then we will be playing, and I don't know why they made this image so goddamn small. Rest of the world, please. Let's do better for these Women's World Series as far as the graphics. The other one was just like this huge line of 64 teams or whatever the amount was. But yeah, Oklahoma does go on to play Tennessee.
Popped her up. Panel in foul territory, and Tennessee rallies from a game down to beat Nebraska, and they are going to the Women's College World Series.
What a series. I mean, what a series.
Yeah.
I had Nebraska because it needed something.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, what a series, but also, like, what a uniform. I
Yeah.
actually kind of like the powdered blue.
Yeah, the powdered blues.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They always bring those out for the any of their Lady Vols teams.
Yeah. Dude,
They
it's
did.
pretty
They did. Women's basketball always did it. So
dope. Yeah. I feel like football should probably do that sometime.
it'd be pretty cool.
You mean?
But
Like,
unless they're
like a
playing,
special
but
game.
with Ole Miss, because Ole Miss does it, that's why they don't really mess with it.
Well, yeah. I mean, but you don't bring it out for the whole season,
No.
right? I mean, just bring it out for a game. That way you boost your sales as far as jerseys. People love it. It's a collector's item, etc.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, and sticking in the top side of the bracket, right? So Oklahoma being number 2, Tennessee being 7, number 3 spot goes to Florida.
Tense moments building here.
Over to second, and that does it. That's it. The Florida Gators, for the second consecutive season, are heading back to the Women's College World Series.
Yeah,
So far, SEC teams are all on it.
dude, I know. It's pretty much just a SEC Invitational. I mean, really, Oklahoma City Invitational. Or Oklahoma Invitational, because it's in Oklahoma City. They're at OGE Energy Field at Devon Park. But yeah, tomorrow the action starts, and yeah, so that game, Florida, which they will be playing a little some people down south.
Freshman at the plate. Morgan gloves it, and the Texas Longhorns, for the third time in 4 years, can pack their bags to go to Oklahoma City.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I mean, Texas is like athletic department is they're always like, remember we used to give like the award for like the school with the best athletic program as far as what they did that year. Texas is always right there. So it doesn't surprise, like, and obviously said, like, this is like the 4th time in 6 years or something. So yeah.
All right, you're talking about the program that ESPN signed an exclusive contract with just for their own sports and not the rest of the Big 12?
Yep.
Huh.
The Longhorn Network.
Weird. That's weird. Why are they the best? Why are they considered the best athletic program? Maybe because they shell out the most money. Maybe that's what it is, huh?
It's a big state, man. I don't think University of Alaska is shelling out any money.
It's a big state with a lot of colleges. And one of those other colleges stays in Texas themselves, Texas Tech. Mm-hmm. They end up winning their match up.
And Texas Tech is a strike away. They have never come anywhere close to this. They need one strike. Popped up to all red, and that's going to do it. Marjorie Kennedy and Texas Tech are on to the World Series for the first time.
Yeah.
Speaking about a team that's been spending money, Texas Tech has been spending money. If you look at what their basketball team has done to keep topping, and then seeing what their football team has been spending in the transfer portal, just ranking up that. For the women's are finally going to the softball World Series or College World Series. So the state of Texas is like, screw it, pump the oil. Let's get the teams together.
Yeah, they are fracking back.
Yes.
Because they're definitely making moves, and but they also got good players too, and they're not the only ones there. Of course, Texas Tech still with the Big 12, but the rest of the teams we talked about, SEC, another one, maybe one of your favorites, Ole Miss, up to bat.
The Rebels
are rolling on to OKC for the first time in program history.
I mean,
That's right.
That's what if you're Arkansas, you wanted Ellis on the plate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. It's surprising, but I mean, it's SEC, man. It's what they do.
Yeah, and Arkansas being in the SEC as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dallas being a powerhouse. Unfortunately, I mean, this year comes to a close for them. Ole Miss does move on to play Texas Tech, and all these will be Thursday games tomorrow. Tech will be at 7 p.m. The previous ones we discussed, going to start with Florida, Texas at noon, and then Oklahoma, Tennessee at 2:30. And the 9:30 game, it's going to be a little bit of a West Coast battle.
School history, and the first time under head coach Missy Lombardi, the Oregon Ducks are headed to the Women's College World Series.
That's right. Oregon tops Liberty, ending their Cinderella story. So the slipper did not fit for Liberty, unfortunately. Who really disrupted a lot of people's brackets with their win. But yeah, Josh, kind of with this matchup, or at least with Oregon kind of winning, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, quack, Mr. Ducksworth. I mean, again, they got that Nike money at Oregon. So doesn't surprise me that Phil Knight's going to be like, before I die, I want to see the University of Oregon win something as far as a natty is concerned.
Yeah, they got close in football, right?
Yeah, and they're going to be right back at it. I don't think Dan Lanning's going to be steering that ship the wrong direction. Mm-hmm. Oregon basketball, they're fine. They had a solid season, but they were never going to be a contender.
But the Oregon softball, the girls move on. Really as a rout of Liberty, but congrats to Liberty for showing up and showing out in what you were given with, but then UCLA is going to be playing against Oregon.
Pop up in the infield, Bragg 1-6. And Bruin Magic for the 33rd time has carried them back to the Women's College World Series.
$33 times.
Yeah, 33 times.
But it's a record. I read it. I just didn't know that off the top of my head. I read it when they put most of the graphic. So it is a record, but has a team won 5 in a row?
That they have not. And
Jeremy,
let's go, baby. Let's get number 5. Let's do it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5th.
FIF, fifth. But yeah, Oregon and UCLA, they will be playing in the evening game at 9:30 tomorrow. And I believe with this, it is down. They have a loser bracket. So you cannot. Can you come back? I'm trying to see that now. Yeah, so you can come back. So it's double elimination. Yeah. Sorry,
it's double elimination. Yeah.
I don't know why the dotted lines really threw me off on this graphic I'm looking at. But yeah, so it is double elimination, and so once you even get to game 12, which will be on June 2nd, Monday at 2:30, the winner of that one will move on to the championship, and then game 14 is going to be the loser bracket side. At least for those, and that'll be Monday, June 2nd at 9:30. So, kind of interesting that they're kind of having the loser bracket that late, but it's good also because earlier on that side of the bracket they're going to be at 7 p.m. as well. So, you get the winner bracket, you get a lot of time off, you get an early evening, And unfortunately, on that lower bracket, you're going to have to play back-to-back just to even get into the finals, which is going to be a best of 3. And so those will be June 4th, 5th, and 6th. So the loser side of the bracket, they will get 1 break, 1 day of a break, a rest, and then they'll be right back at it. Playing potentially 5 games within 4 days, 5 days. Yeah, there we go. But anyways, but yeah, what are you thinking, man? What do you think of this SEC Invitational?
I know, right? With a sprinkle of Big Ten. We'll sprinkle some Big Ten in there, even though they were former Pac-12 teams. So it's like, who's a Big Ten representative? UCLA and Oregon? What?
Yep.
That don't sound right.
Yep. And then you got a Texas Tech representing Big 12.
But Texas Tech representing Big 12, and they've got technically like 2 teams, because I still give half of what Texas and Oklahoma do to the Big 12. So in a sense, they've got 2 teams.
Yeah, right.
In there. It hasn't gone long. It hasn't gone long enough for me to be there. Like, oh yeah, they're SEC now. It's still weird. But it's Oklahoma, man. Until you show me a reason why you shouldn't be repeating, then it's Oklahoma. Like Tennessee's always been solid softball. So that's going to be an interesting game to see how they do tomorrow.
Yeah, and looks like in that upper bracket, all 4 teams are SEC, and then you have Ole Miss in that bottom. So you have 5 out of 8. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, with it being a double elimination, you always have a chance.
Yep.
It's not, you can't really complain that we have a bad side of a bracket. I mean, you got your game, win your game, and then if you don't win it, then you get down to the lower tier, and then you figure it out. But I think it's going to be interesting. I really like double eliminations. We do that for cornhole tournaments whenever we put them on, and a lot of times, I mean, you've got that team that the winner will run through and have too much rest. I'm not saying that's the case in softball, but then that then the loser side of the bracket, maybe it's a good team that just didn't have a good game in the beginning. They run that course and they are warmed up and they're primed by the time it's that final game. So, that could be the case. We'll see. Who do you have? I mean, we're not really doing necessarily a technical bracket, bitches, on this one, but
I was a fan of Arkansas, but they just got eliminated. So, I mean, obviously, like I said, Oklahoma. But
Oklahoma,
outside
Tennessee.
of Oklahoma, outside of that, obviously, yes, Tennessee would probably be my next one that I would go with, just because of their track record.
Yeah. So I mean, let's look at the bracket though. Actually, no, I'm not going to add that to the stage. But yeah. So you have Tennessee and Oklahoma playing first,
right?
Right. So you're saying Oklahoma out of that one?
Yeah.
All right. So Tennessee going to the loser bracket. All right. Florida, Texas. Who do you have?
Florida.
You have Florida? Yeah. I think so too. I mean, just based upon the ranking, but also I hate Texas. I mean, they both wear orange. Really? I mean, Oklahoma's against it, man. It's Oklahoma and orange. Tennessee, right. Texas, Florida, all 3 orange in there. And that is statistically the worst color to have on anything. But yeah, I'm with you. So we're going to say Florida and Oklahoma. Hey, what's up? Yeah, dude. Let's go, dude. Smash Pumpkins. A lot of comments on the shirt today at church too. Good ones though. And
it looks like the Monty Python and Holy Grail for a second.
Dude,
the way the lettering comes across. Yeah. At first, I'm like, "Is that a Monty?" No, it's Melancholy. Okay, Smashing Pumpkins. Okay, got it now.
Yeah, I'm with you there. But yeah, so then we're talking about Texas versus Tennessee. Who are you picking out of that one?
Tennessee.
Right. So Tennessee. Yeah. So you got number 6 versus number 7, and that is the original standing. That's not the current bracket kind of standing. Man, I don't know. Texas has some great pitching, and we kind of saw like the final end of that one. And they got some great closers too. But dude, Tennessee. I mean, just for the uniforms, I want to see them. I want to see them win on too. So we're gonna say that. So then, out of Florida, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma,
right? So then Florida versus Tennessee. What do you got?
I think Tennessee's going to pull that off.
Nice. So then Oklahoma and Tennessee on that one.
Tennessee's going to get one, and then Oklahoma's going to win the next one because it's a double elimination. So technically, Oklahoma can lose two. Yep. Can drop one to Tennessee. Yep. So, but Tennessee can't drop one to Oklahoma. So they're behind the 8 ball. So therefore, I would say, Tennessee might get the first game, and then to make it interesting, but then Oklahoma's going to take them in the second.
Yeah, no, I like that, and that would be a 12 p.m. game and a 2:30. So, like I said, I mean, we'd be right back to back if necessary, and that's the dotted line aspect. So then on the lower one, we've got Texas Tech versus Ole Miss.
I'm gonna go Tech.
You going Tech?
I'm going Tech.
I think that's the smart choice, but I don't know, man. Ole Miss has just kind of had some heat. And,
they're definitely on a heater right now. You're not wrong.
And I feel like that's going to continue on in this one, at least this first matchup, maybe between the two. But then you got Oregon and UCLA.
UCLA on that one.
You on UCLA? Yep. I'm with you on that one. So then on the loser bracket, you got Oregon versus Ole Miss for you.
Oregon, just because I need some SEC teams to be eliminated.
Yeah, right. You would hope so. I've got Oregon playing Texas Tech, and I'm going to go Tech in that one. So I think Oregon's going to be one of the first one eliminated on that bracket. So then the winner's side, you got UCLA and Texas Tech. Who do you got?
That's tough. I'm going to go UCLA on that one.
UCLA. All right, so UCLA moving on. Tech going to the lower bracket. And so I have Ole Miss winning against UCLA. I will go UCLA on that one as well. So I've got Ole Miss and Texas Tech on the bottom, right? And then you have.
And I have Oregon beating Ole Miss, Oregon. So Ole Miss would already be eliminated in my bracket.
Yeah, but you got Oregon, Texas Tech. So who do you got?
Yeah, and then I got Tech on that.
Tech on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I think the slipper's still going to fit for Tech.
Yep.
As far as they're not underdogs or Cinderellas, but compared to the other teams, they are.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't hate that. So I mean, we got different people getting knocked out first, but yeah, Tech and UCLA, they are in the finals. Both with Tech having one loss, right? So, do you think Tech will be able to steal one against UCLA?
No.
Nope.
No, I think the run-in's there, but they're gonna make a valiant effort.
Yep. No, I like that. So then you got UCLA versus Oklahoma, right?
And then Oklahoma.
Yeah. Yeah. No brainer.
Yeah.
But anything can happen. Anything can happen. I mean, this is sport. This is why we love it. I mean, and the whole narrative is going to be annoying as hell for anybody, even Oklahoma fans. We're going to get annoyed with some of the narrative and the commentary that's going to be talking about it. Yes, it could be a historical run. I mean, it already is, as far as within the last 10 years, what they've been able to do. But same with the professional sports. Whenever you just have a dynasty, it just it gets old. Because we like fresh content, we like new winners, we like the developing storyline. So a lot of people are going to be cheering against Oklahoma in this one. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, you cannot argue against a dynasty that is just a whole different level than anybody else in the sport. And so, but yeah, we got Oklahoma winning the national championship. But it could be anybody. Let us know in the chats below who you got on those. Oklahoma City heading back to NBA Finals, baby. It is official. That is right.
Yeah, it is official.
Right. It's official for the Hurricanes, not the Hurricanes, the Panthers.
Yes, and it's official that I still don't know puck. So
right,
still don't know puck. But as you were alluding to, I believe it's time for basketball. There will be an echo of souls here.
I love it. We are talking basketball, and Sol, we miss you. We got we got to get you on the studio and get that recorded. We got to drop that basketball album. Yeah, we'll get that by summer's end. We'll get that by summer's end for sure. But no, this just in. I mean, just a little bit ago even. The Oklahoma City Thunder move on, and could not be happier about it, baby. Myself living in Oklahoma, there in the chat, Jeremy Miller lives in Oklahoma City area. Yeah, woo, Smashing Pumpkins. Let's go, dog. He thought it was Monty Python Seeker.
Earlier.
Oh, earlier. There we go. Okay, there's the correction. Yeah, I love that typo, by the way. That was a good one.
Ezekiel Elliott?
Yeah, Ezekiel Elliott. Nice. But no, looking at the NBA playoffs, I mean, it's the same bracket as last week, except with Oklahoma moving on right now. Tomorrow, we will have the Pacers and Knicks playing. And it was crazy because, I mean, you see it in the title. Everybody's 3-1 right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get to hockey here in a little bit. Everybody's 3-1 there. But for the NBA, the Pacers are 3-1 above the Knicks. And before, just a few moments ago, the Thunder were 3-1 against the Timberwolves. Sorry. But yeah, we do have some content, baby. And here we go. We'll go ahead and talk about the Thunder first. This was their mindset going into the game.
Had to grind that one out.
Yeah. Hard fought game on the road. And of course, going to be a night. It's all about winning and we got the job done.
And then what's the mindset now going into game 5?
Yeah, just come ready to play. Understand the mindset of our opponent. And be desperate. We want to get season alive. And we just as desperate.
Yep, that's right. That's from the MVP himself, baby.
Shisus?
Yeah, Shisus. Good lord. Yeah, I'm going to have to look that up now that you told me about it.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, man. I mean, while I get this kind of set, I mean, what do you think about, at least with that video, talk about the mindset, right? I mean, them being desperate. I know we didn't get to really watch the whole lot of the game, but yeah, does it seem like they came off desperate tonight?
They won by 30. So, and the game was pretty much over at the start of it's like halfway through the third quarter. Like, I mean, it was done. Ant, I still think Ant is the future. He's the truth. But right now, you just ran into a better team, and we talked about that a couple weeks ago. Of this will be the seventh different champion in 7 seasons. So, and you don't have those big 3, teams anymore. You have your star player, then you have solid upper, like you have other players that complement each other on that team. So, I mean, Williams, right?
Yeah,
And,
J. Will. Yep.
And then obviously Holmgren. Chet Holmgren.
Yeah,
so like you got
the big 3, but I mean, you also have some players that are really adding to it. Let me look at this real quick. Dort tonight got 12 points, but you also got Caruso, who's been coming in, kind of clutch really. But the bench in this one, I got to watch a little bit of the second quarter before the half, which is about the time we started. Actually, no, we started the big end of the third quarter. But anyways, there was a good portion where the lead was extended and Shai Gilgeous was not on. Alexander was not on the court himself, and so that just shows to the depth that you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, you had off the bench. I mean, this Isaiah Joe. What a great 2 first name player,
right?
With 11, he did end up with a -2 plus/minus point differential. But you know what the point differential matters is the scoreboard. He did about 30, so that's all that matters. So I don't. Sometimes for people who don't know what a plus minus is it's like when you were on the floor, did you contribute to helping the team? Mm-hmm. So did you add value? Did you decrease value? Even though he scored 11 points, whatever goes into that algorithm, it says that, he actually hurt his team, which you see that sometimes where you'll see guys who don't even score a point, but they're still in a positive plus minus scenario because they were doing all it highlights the grittiness and the stuff you don't see on SportsCenter, but was the reason why you won the game.
Yeah, pretty much like a KDR, like kill death
Yeah.
ratio for all you Call of Duty or first person shooter games,
or a QBR grade, whatever whatever Pro Football Focus figures out as far as like you're a really good lineman based on Pro Football Focus. Like I don't know, you're supposed to just block a dude from getting to the quarterback and creating a hole. Like I don't know, but. Yeah, math happened, and that's the basketball portion of it.
Yeah. But what we do know is free throw percentage was kind of the same. 80 to 85%. Oklahoma City winning that column. The number of free throws was a little bit different. Minnesota getting 15, while the Thunder got 21. But probably a good portion of that coming in the final minute of them actually trying to maybe stop the clock a little bit and try to get a little bit of a turnaround. But 3-point percentage about the same, 35.3% for Minnesota, 40% for the Thunder, and then overall field goal percentage 41 to 52. But yeah, I mean, it's just efficiencies, really weren't the case in here, and it really wasn't like they outscored, like they each shot 34, 35 for 3-pointers, which is kind of usually the skill of the not the skill, but kind of the both teams kind of drive, you know what I mean? As far as that's a bulk of their points. But this one, just watching the game, I mean, entirely transition. Yep. And it you're not going to see it in the percentage as far as the shots because they weren't able to get a lot of shots. There was quite a bit of steals. Blocks were about the same, 6 and 8, but the steals 7 to 14. Yeah. Thunder had seven more steals and 7 less turnovers, and so that's going to make
21 turnovers is not a way to win a game, especially at this point. So for those people who say, "Oh, they don't play defense in the NBA," well, how did Minnesota just throw the ball out of bounds 21 times? Like, no, that's defense. Ask Alex Caruso in his pocket, in his wallet, if defense doesn't matter, because that's why he's getting paid. He shut down Jokic, guys, in a Jokic shutdown manner. if that makes sense. Like people were like, he had this. I'm like, but Jokic could have just taken over the game, but Caruso bottled him up for what he could.
Yeah, and we were talking about game changing defense. This was Holmgren in the not tonight's game, but the previous game.
Edwards to McDaniels. McDaniels on the drive to spin the layup, blocked by Holmgren. Picked up by SGA.
The 7-footer. That's a spin move. It looks like he's lost his balance. The ability at that size to recover and not have that hit window first. Folks, you are looking at a big-time shot block.
I like the no call on the elbow because that really wasn't a foul.
Because it wasn't a bump. I mean, it's just a grace. It's just like the cornerbacks in the NFL, right? It's not a pull on the jersey. It's just a hand placement, right? You're kind of feeling them. It's almost like a little bit of a dance. You're not manipulating their weight. You're not, really causing any effect other than just technically touching them. And so, so for anybody watching that, if you're looking at it and saying, "Oh, that should have been a foul," no, you don't know ball, and it's definitely you don't know playoff ball. But Holmgren does know blocks, and that wasn't just an isolated incident. Because enjoy all these highlights from this year's playoff series.
Caruso in front. Edwards to McDaniels. McDaniels on the drive to spin the layup, blocked by Holmgren. Picked up by SGA.
Look who's leading the break. Jokic gets it back from Gordon. Puts it up. Denied. Holmgren. Big time block at the rim.
Coming out of
Williams
the field.
other way.
Second pick, Aaron Wiggins.
Come on, you can't stump Gallo. Barnes went up there.
Yeah. Not going to get posterized there.
Hesitated. DiVincenzo drives. Reverse block by Holmgren. Saved by Wallace.
Yeah, people underestimate his quickness.
3 fouls blocked by Holmgren.
Ball deflected.
I mean, just, I don't know, man. It's spatial awareness.
Holmgren.
How far back you
able to get right
you got to go
into
back to the late 70s. I wasn't even in college yet. I was still in high school. But I loved it, too, because once you...
And a lot of these look like they could be penalties.
In NBA history.
And maybe in a tax. A lot of it's them in the air, they're not landing properly.
recovery. Holmgren with his 12th block of the series.
Screen. And the long rebound got his own miss inside, and the second time it sent Holmgren with another block.
Yeah. I mean, Holmgren. Shout out, bro. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
When him coming into the league and immediately had that season-ending injury, we were like, oh no, because as tall as he is and his body's still figuring out, like coming into his body and all that other stuff, because he was 18 when he got into the league, so he's still like. Put it this way, guys, Wembanyama is still growing. That is weird.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and you're talking about injury. I mean, really just kind of like that build. I mean, Yao Ming, kind of the same. His body just kind of deteriorated and just kind of couldn't handle it. But you talk about his age. Chet is born in 22, so he's 23 years old, and born in Minneapolis. Actually, I didn't know that.
Yep.
But yeah, Minneapolis boy.
Yeah. When you're from Minneapolis, you go to Gonzaga.
Yeah, that is true. But Chet did have 7 rebounds. I don't think he had any blocks tonight. I don't know why it's not showing that stat for me right now, but
he had 3.
Yeah, he had 3. There we go. Perfect. So to add to that highlight reel, for this playoff season.
Also, for everyone but the free throw merchant, he only had 4 free throws tonight. So
yeah.
SGA only had 4 free throws. He hit all of them.
Yeah.
But he only had 4. So there you go. Out of his 34 points.
Yeah. Some didn't like the fact we fouled them at the end instead of letting them shoot the 3. Oh, well, don't turn the ball over. Game 4. Yes. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. I believe that was the one.
That's a new thing of some teams will want to go ahead and foul. That way they don't, because they're already up 3, so they feel like they're confident in hitting their free throws, rather than because there's just too much time on the clock. So sometimes sometimes if it's like 2 or 3 seconds left, they're going to let them shoot the 3. But if there's like 10 seconds or something like that, teams typically in the NBA now will foul up 3 instead of letting them tie it. That way they can get more time off, and they're not going to be able to set a play in that regard, because there's too much time there.
Yeah, set a play, and then and even if they foul them behind a 3-point line where they're taking 3 shots, you got to make 3 instead of 1. And the basketball gods will show if that is a valid foul or not, as far as the person missing one of them.
Now, someone said we should foul even though we're up 2, just so they don't get a 3 off. And I'm like, no. Why are you just gifting them a tie game?
Yeah, that one, I'm with you there. Like, contest it.
Unless Shaq is out there at center. You don't foul when you're up 2.
Yeah. Well, you talk about Shaq. Well, let's move over to the Pacers side of the ball. But Shaq and Reggie showing a little bit of love in here. Yeah, you're gonna sing on the top of the song, cause I don't know if it's copywritten. Yeah. Remix. What do you think he's kind of saying? Like, no, dude, I totally shot it in your face. You didn't do shit, bro. You did. Yeah, what a massive man. Like, Reggie Miller is no small dude. And Shaq's just like, hey, do you want to feel like my little brother? Like, fuck. I cannot hear you, by the way.
Sorry. So for
There we
the
go.
turns out I clicked my microphone off. It doesn't help you to hear me if I don't have the microphone on. Anyway, go look up the picture of Shaq and Charles Barkley with The Rock. They make him look like a pebble.
Yeah.
So
I feel like we should have like a gradient, like of him all the way down to like Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, you gotta love Reggie and Shaq time. You know, Reggie Miller just done a great job being on the commentating booth for a while, so it's really great. If you haven't watched these games, definitely watch them now. You know, you got one more to watch tomorrow, possibly. But yeah, he's doing an incredible job there, and so much that other people are showing him love. even if they might be his mortal enemy. Yeah, don't know if the song is copywritten, so I'm gonna spit some hot lyrics on it. Nah, but yeah, Spike Jonze, dapping up Reggie.
Spike Lee.
Or Spike Lee, sorry.
They're both directors.
Yeah, they both
two
have
different
people. Yeah. One is white, one is not.
Yes, one is white.
Yeah, but no, yeah, Spike Lee. Yeah, just dapping up Reggie. I mean, of course, the infamous choke kind of scenario, and then Spike Lee just, I mean, John everybody for what, 2 decades, 3 decades on the the Knicks sideline. You gotta love it, but yeah, man. I mean, everybody kind of get. It seems like everybody knows it's Reggie's time as far as for the Pacers to go. But do we think they're gonna go beyond that? We'll see. But yeah, any thoughts on Shaq and Reggie before we jump into the Pacers mindset?
It's always fun to see legends interact with each other because the nostalgia comes back of you watching them dominate at the top of their games. You remember and obviously seeing Spike and Reggie, because that's just they created something special. I mean, they literally, that documentary, that 30 for 30 is great about it. That whole series, going back to that series, people remember that series more than they remember who won the championship that year. That's how memorable that whole scenario was between the Knicks and the Pacers, because that was when Pat Riley was still with the Knicks, and he had the mentality of, you come down the lane, you ain't coming back to the lane anymore. And it was kind of the same Pacers, and that was very physical series. So if you haven't watched that 30 for 30, go watch it. It's incredible.
Yeah, you can talk about physicality. I mean, you first go to the Pistons, right? You kind of think about their series, especially against the Bulls, but man, that Knicks, oh my God, that Knicks Pacers series, so good. John Stark, Ewing, and all them going against Reggie Miller and his crew.
Charles Oakley, back when they had enforcers.
Man, right? I mean, they still kind of do. Maybe
they still kind of do, but not like the Charles Oakley
for the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
But no, when you talk about the Pacers, though, they are 3-1. They will be playing tomorrow, 8 p.m., and it will be in Indiana. And that's where I would put my money that they're going to win it, because, I mean, it's either they're going to win that game or they're going to win it in 7, at home. But it just kind of feels like kind of destiny. So far, we have 2 3-1 teams winning tonight. We could have 2 more winning tomorrow. I hope in hockey we don't. But yeah, so the game 1, the Pacers 138-135 in overtime. Epic game. Epic. We saw the ending live last Wednesday as we did the show. And
I was wondering why you were like, oh my God. And then you're like, we'll go into overtime. I'm like, okay. And then I watched it. I'm like, oh my God, you were tame. I would have been freaking out.
But whenever we're doing this, you don't see all the context. And it was just like, I remember looking down and it was like, oh yeah, like 9-10 points differential. Then it's like, oh shit, this is going on. Game 2, Pacers ended up winning 114-109. Then Knicks still won. But it is, wait, hold on. Yeah. Sorry, I'm like thinking if it's at New York or not tomorrow. But anyways, Knicks still won, and then the Pacers 130-121. For their lead to 3-1. I mean, anything on this? I know we've talked about him a little bit, but Halliburton, more than possibly a corrupt corporation from the 2000s, overseas contracts. But yeah, I mean, Halliburton, he's here. I mean, he's not like some fluke, right? You're muted again.
I did it again. All right, he is the Reggie Miller. Hey, listen, we're going to have a talk after this, and it's pretty much my brain that's turning you off. There, I'll talk with a microphone. I think we sorted it out until 15 minutes from now, and then I do something stupid again. But Halliburton, he's kind of like the Reggie Miller of the league now, because he's part of that upper echelon player, but he's still not looked at as like, Jokic or Giannis or even Anthony Edwards in that sense, or SGA. and people were saying he was overrated. Like for some reason, you get the most overrated player award. I didn't know that was a thing, but apparently players voted him the most overrated player. Well, guess what? He's pretty rated perfectly right now, and he's telling everyone to sit down, shut up, and take this triple double to the throat, because he went 34, 12, and 12, I think, last night. It was ridiculous on what he did. Much less he's clutch as hell, just like Reggie was, because he was clutch against Cleveland. And obviously that shot against the Knicks was insane. No, it wasn't a double dribble; it was tipped. But also, the Pacers are a fun team to watch. Again, they're a solid team with Miles Turner, Namath. What the hell is his name? That went off. When that big crazy choke job happened, and Toppin, Nebahart. So it's a solid team with a person can, if you need to get the ball to them, they're gonna go get you a bucket, and that's what every team needs. And I always say that with college a lot of times, because some rosters are like, yeah, but okay, if we're in a bind, who's going to get us going? We need someone just go in there and get a bucket, get the momentum going.
Yeah. Sakeem is the 3-point shooter.
Okay,
the ones that
and then
kind of
Pascal is on the team, I believe. He was like Mr. He kind of helped that Toronto team win it that one year.
You got Naismith. You got Mathurin though. Benedict Mathurin. He scored 20 points in the last game.
Yeah.
Miles Turner is the center.
Pascal Siakam. He was.
Oh, did he not play the last game? Because I'm not seeing him on the shot list.
Yeah, he had 30. He went 30, and then Tyrese had 32.
Siakam. Sorry, first name base. My bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, and on the Knicks side, they got some players. you got Karl-Anthony Towns, right? Which is still weird to see him in a Knicks uniform. My brain just kind of breaks with that. But you got Anunoby and Bridges and Hart. But really, it's Towns and Brunson that are the ones really kind of getting it done. But it's
Villanova Wildcat.
Yeah, just singular because. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna get it done. Just don't think they will.
I love the makeup of this team, and
the Knicks?
Because the Knicks, the Knicks. I really like. I've obviously in Brunson and Bridges have a soft spot to me because they're the team that helped me win 3 brackets in one season. So I always have a soft spot for that Villanova team. And I think Josh Hart, you should put an E in his last name to complete the spelling because the dude exudes it. He goes out there, whatever you want. He's not going to go out there and take over a game, but he's going to give you everything he's got and lay it all on the floor. Cat solid. OJ Obasanya, I can't pronounce his last name, but I really like the grittiness of the team. That being said, their problem is everything runs through Brunson too much for me. There's decent ball movement, but a lot of times it's just and that's kind of how Tibbs was, because Tibbs coached those Bulls teams when they had a solid roster, but everything flowed through Derrick Rose, which understandable. But I think they rely too much on one player to do so much, rather than you have your other guys to pick it up when you need to, which is why they were able to beat the Celtics, because Miles Bridges went off one game, then Jalen Brunson would go off. But when you get to a point, it just feels like they're so heavily reliant on Jalen, and it's nothing against him, but there's a reason there's 5 of you on the court, and they all can freaking put the ball in the hoop. So why are we running these ISOs all the time? I just don't get it.
Yeah. It could be coaching. But what we did get was a memorable moment, and it was from Halliburton. So this is last week's game on Wednesday night before tonight. Teams leading by 9+ points with 1 minute left. We're 1,434-0. Like almost indefinite that it was not going to happen. But the Pacers are in that one column now. Basically just, kind of really letting the world know that you're not safe. You're not safe at the end of the game. But yeah, so kind of talking about the Pacers and the Thunder. Thunder definitely moving on. We'll see if the Pacers can do it tomorrow night. But they are two of the youngest teams in the league. Of course, this is a small margin. We're talking about 24.58 and 0.85. Like, it's ridiculous how tight of a margin that is. Because I know they always say, like, oh, Thunder is the youngest team. And I'm like, oh, yeah, dude, definitely. But then you look at it in comparison, it's like, well, yeah, technically. But yeah, I mean, and they also see the Pistons. You see the Magic, both of those teams in the playoffs. Who will we see next year out of these teams, in the playoffs, other than the Thunder and the Pacers, right? I mean, is this kind of a little bit of that regime change as far as from the old guard to the new guard? Who knows?
Yes and no, because Carlisle has been doing it forever. He's the coach of the Pacers, so it's like I still look at coaches and like yes, coaching matters, guys. Tibbs' teams always are right there. Some people, and then they'll still come back and get on Tibbs because he runs his players off the floor and they're too tired or whatever. But Carlisle the Pacers had the quickest pace of play, all pun intended. But then you look at the change of guards, like Oklahoma City not only has the youngest team, but their coach is super young as well. On that, and so of the three teams that are still left, because I can't really talk about Minnesota anymore. But it is a change of the guard as far as maybe not, because like I said, you have 7 teams win it and seven different teams win it in 7 years. So you're going to come in with the same offseason of, Luka and the Lakers are going to dominate the headlines, and you're going to be, oh, by the way, like that's why I want Oklahoma and Indiana to be in the finals, because we're really going to see the bias of the media when these two teams are, and whoever wins it, how much are they really going to talk about these teams in the offseason? And because I guarantee you, Lakers are going to get a lot of the airtime. Yep. They're probably going to focus on the Mavs because of Cooper Flag and all that. So they're going to talk about everything but the team that won it, which is the same situation that happened in NFL draft. I think Cam Ward might be the least talked about first overall draft pick that is a quarterback that I can remember. It's because
even during the draft, nobody talked about him.
Right. So it's like, oh yeah, Cam Ward's at Tennessee. He's like, what round did he go in? First overall. Oh, okay. But I think that's the tale of this too, is just the fact of they're small market teams, so therefore they're not gonna talk about them. They're gonna talk about the Knicks. They're gonna talk about the Lakers. They're gonna talk about Cooper Flag and the Mavs. They're gonna talk about probably Wemby. There's gonna be I want somebody out there who can track this. Okay, and then come back and tell me how much coverage either one of these teams, whoever wins it, gets in the offseason compared to those teams that I just said that are in larger markets. Because I guarantee you that if the teams that I said, they might get more coverage than the Mavericks. But they ain't going to get anything better than the Knicks or the Lakers. They're not going to get anything better than the Celtics. Because the NBA does not focus on small market teams. They don't care.
Yeah, and I mean, but also small market teams haven't really been in the mix a whole lot either. Because, we talked about it last week for the Western Conference Finals. I mean, this is the first one in, 18 years or something that hasn't been in New York, LA, or, some kind of mixture, or was it Texas, California, places. So, even just with those two states, I mean, you've got, 6 different locations. So yeah, it sucks, but at the same time, it kind of is understandable to a degree. Oklahoma City is going to be sharing a little bit of the Olympic coverage as far as hosting, with LA. So I feel like there's an echo in here for some reason. But yeah. So I mean, we'll see. But Oklahoma City is a growing market. Minnesota, possibly. Who knows what the Vikings are going to do this year? But then, but you're talking about Indiana, you do have one of the biggest sports programs that is filmed in that state, there in Indianapolis. And so, that'll probably get a good amount of coverage, even if it's just from Pat McAfee and them. But yeah, I'm with you. There definitely is a bias. But at the same time, media attention is water. it's just going to go to the path of least resistance.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to fill up basically like the most common denominator first. And it's always East Coast, West Coast for the most part in Texas. So we'll see what it is. But I'm with you. I kind of like that. I mean, as far as kind of that spin on the angle. But
and speaking of Pat McAfee, it just popped up. So they were down 6 last night, and then the Knicks pulled it to within 6. And you thought, oh no, they're starting to rally. You know what you do? You give the microphone to Pat McAfee and let him cut a promo mid of the game.
Nice.
So,
yep.
There we go.
Remove it. I got you. Okay.
Indianapolis, Indiana. We got some big wigs from the big city in the building. Spike Lee is here. Ben Stiller is here.
Naming all the New York people.
Timothy Chalamet is here. Let's send these sons of bitches back to New York with their ears ringing. Let's turn this shit on.
When all else
was that Carlisle that he punched?
I don't know. But anyway, apparently Ben Stiller got a little bit into his feels or whatever, and saying like, "Well, New York would never do that." I'm like, "Didn't you just like punch that that dude that was wearing a Pacers jersey who got tickets to the game, by the way?"
Yeah.
But Stiller did invite Pat McAfee to tomorrow night's game, so we shall see if McAfee shows up and is there with Stiller. Because I mean,
I don't see why he wouldn't.
Right.
I mean,
and Chalamet thought, Chalamet and Spike, like they didn't give a shit. So, but just McAfee. Spike's here. Ben's here.
These sons of bitches back
home with their ears ringing. He talked about it today. He was like, they put a microphone in front of me, and they're like, oh, okay, we're going to do this.
I mean, what do you expect me to do? Right? What do you expect?
Yeah.
But yeah, that wraps it up for basketball. Let's keep it going, guys. Let's keep it going. Because we are sitting at 1 hour and 7 minutes.
One quick thing. Get healthy, Caitlin Clark, because they're already feeling the financial effects because she's going to be out for 2 weeks. Not a long time, but still enough to show the economic situation that she brings because she's going to miss the Chicago Sky game. So we're going to not see her and Reese go back at each other again. But for those who are wondering, the average ticket price was $86.
Yeah.
Once she said she's not going to play, it went down to $24.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big swing for one player not playing.
Yeah, she's not that good.
No, she's terrible. You're talking about. Yeah. But also, Paige Bucher's off to an amazing start her rookie year, to no surprise, as well. So
and the
Lynx are undefeated.
Yeah,
we both said that. And the Lynx are undefeated.
But it is early.
Yes.
So there's only 4 or 5 games in. So next week we will definitely catch you up on this week's action. But unfortunately, they're gonna get bumped, just like Jimmy Kimmel bumps Matt Damon all the time. Sorry, WNBA.
Press for time.
But we will be moving on to kicking and screaming. Big dog, what do you got for us in that one, man?
So we got a lot of names that I'm probably going to mispronounce, but just roll with me on this one. Mauricio Pochettino. There it is. I think I got it right. Pochettino. I nailed it.
Mauricio Pochettino.
There's someone out there that's just checked into us, and they're like, "How did you not know how to?" I was like, "All right, whatever." Has called up 27 players for 2 friendlies against Turkey and Switzerland before this summer's Gold Cup. A reminder that this summer the FIFA Club World Cup is also happening here in the U.S., and those players will not be playing for the red, white, and blue this summer. Those players being Weston McKennie and Tim Way with Juventus, Gio Reyna with Dortmund, and depending on a game against LAFC to get into the tournament, Alejandro Zidanius with Club America. This is the weirdest roster, as according to Sol. Okay, we get her little thoughts in here. This is the weirdest roster she's ever seen, and it has had the U.S. soccer world going, what? And who is that? But let's get most of the old things in this roster. The roster has 16 players from MLS, 4 goalkeepers called up, Matt Freese with 0 caps, Patrick Schultz with 3, and Zach Stefan, who used to be our number 1 with 30, and Matt Turner with 51. This leads me to believe that Poch might test some other goalkeepers out other than Matt Turner because he is not playing club football right now. And personally, she'll be upset if we don't trust someone else. And I will also say that too, because he has been terrible in goal. Now, Sergino Dest is back. We missed him dearly. Some other notable people back on the roster are Malik Tillman, Johnny Cardoso, a.k.a. Johnny Soccer, Valerian Belugan. Oh, my gosh, that sounds like a Star Wars character. That dude's a Star Wars character. Valerian Belugan? Yeah, that's a Star Wars character. Haji Wright. And Haji Wright. And then Tim Ream is still getting called up. This man is 37. His play is declining. Still love him and everything, but he is undeniable as a leader for this group, but no one is stepping up to take his spot on the field. So he is going to continue getting called up and most likely starting until they do. Alexander Freeman is getting his first call up. He's the son of former Green Bay Packer All-Pro wide receiver and Super Bowl champion Antonio Freeman. See the catch Antonio Freeman made against the Vikings. It's like the Immaculate Reception or something like that. And it is, it's Improbable Bobble or something like that. It's ridiculous. Go watch it. Antonio Freeman is still one of the dudes. And now his son gets his chance to be the dude for the U.S. men's soccer team. So it's cool. German-American Damian Downs was called up to this roster. Born in Germany to an American father and German mother. Moved to Texas when he was 1 year old and grew up playing American football, not playing association football until he moved back to Germany at age 9. He has represented both the U.S. and Germany at the youth levels, and this is the first call-up to a senior team, and it looks like he is choosing the U.S. of A. The June matches are friendlies, so he won't be cat-tied to the U.S. and could possibly still represent Germany, but it's nice to see Poch doing some dual NAT stuff. Which, as far as dual NAT stuff, I expect a lot of NFL players to get dual citizenships come flag football time in 3 years, so they can play as well. The most interesting call-up is Sebastian Berhalter, and it's not because he doesn't deserve the call-up. He most certainly does with his play that he's had for the Vancouver Whitecaps. He's just the son of the former coach. If he plays, he'll be the 8th father-son pairing who has played for the men's national team. The most notable father-son pairing being the Reynas, Claudio and Gio. Notable misses from the roster include Josh Sargent. Poach said he wasn't called up for football reasons. Yunus Musa for personal reasons. Jedi Robinson, injury. Ricardo Pepe, injury. And then Cameron Carter-Vickers, Joe Scully, Paxton Arison. The biggest miss is obviously Christian Pulisic, Captain America himself. Due to the amount of minutes Christian has played for club and country this season, which has been a lot, he has asked to take the summer off, and I have. And here are some thoughts. If we performed well in the Copa America and did well in the Nations League, go ahead, take the summer off. However, we shat the bed at both of those tournaments, and this is the last major tournament before the World Cup and the longest camp before the World Cup. So Poch really has time with these players for this camp. You're a captain, you're a leader, you're our best player. You not being there is in the last major tournament before the World Cup harms our squad. I would accept asking for less playing time and just being a presence in the camp, but to me, this is really selfish of him. It gives all the people who say that you don't care another reason to criticize you. Now, if it is a Landon Donovan situation, which he ended up not getting selected for the 2014 Brazil World Cup for asking for a break, where it was a mental health thing. Landon spoke about how if he didn't have a break, he would have it would have gone down a dark path as far as mental health. So then I have more understanding. But even then, a completely understandable reason for Landon, and he paid the consequences for it. And every U.S. men's national team fan will tell you Landon should have been on that roster.
Shout out.
Yeah. But I've been speaking. So this team is just a pile of rubble, and a pile of rubble looks better than this. It is just a dumpster fire. Is the New York Jets running this organization? Because this is bullshit of how bad we are and how much talent we have. And it is a rudderless ship right now. And I need someone to put it back on course, because it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon.
Well, I mean, we paid the coach a good amount of money.
We did.
And a decent contract. And he even said, just look for us in 2028. Like basically saying, hey, it's not going to be this one. And,
right.
And maybe he can see that. Maybe we got bad leadership that is, just kind of suffocating some of this, or stunting the growth of some of the younger boys or kids. But we'll see. I give him time, but I mean, we're not going to give him time this year, obviously.
No.
It's just not going to happen.
No. And Pulisic is, like we've said, it's just like, I don't get what's going on with him. I don't understand it. But he's the only one that can tell us. So, on that. So
hopefully he'll let us know. And next week, whenever Sol is here, we'll definitely be able to dive a little bit deeper into the world of football, or soccer, association football, that is. But let's go ahead and light the lamp.
And I don't know puck, so I'll just take off this segment. So why do you need me talking about hockey?
Oh, come on, man, stick around. Because 3-1, baby, for all of them at the beginning of the show. But the Florida Panthers did finish it out, and they are going to be moving on to their third consecutive Stanley Cup Finals.
Yep.
They won last year. They lost the year prior, I believe, and so we'll see what they do this year. Interesting. But it looks like they might be facing Edmonton. But come on, Dallas. Come on, Bubby.
Repeat of last year's final.
Yeah. But yeah. So for at least the previous game, not tonight's game 5, but game 4, Frederik Andersen returned to the net and stopped 20 shots for his 5th career playoff shutout. Lowen Stankoven got the only goal Carolina needed, and the Hurricanes won their first and only Eastern Conference Finals game in nearly 20 years by beating the Florida Panthers. Oh, man. And, I mean, we had a choking graphic. Okay, what happened to the graphic?
Don't know.
I thought I sent it in there.
Oh, well. But yeah, Marshy's going back.
Found it.
Okay.
Sorry. It was that one. It's just really small for some reason. But yeah, so before their win, with the game 3 loss, right? Yeah, before their game 4 win, the Carolina had lost 15 straight Eastern Conference final games. Not like 15 straight regular season games, not 15 straight first round games. Eastern Conference final games, meaning they went 2 rounds and then get to the finals. And that is the definition of choke.
Yeah.
That's the definition of it right there. 15 games. But yeah, since, 2009. So, game 4, they finally won, but it doesn't matter because the Panthers are moving on with tonight's victory. Josh, as far as for, this matchup, got any thoughts?
Well, I will say, for as bad as that is for till this year, losing 15 straight Eastern Conference Finals, you know how much Toronto would give just to be in the conference final? So yeah, had to throw my little jab in there for Toronto because they finally got past the first round since 1997. So if there's any record that of sucking that I'd rather take, is Carolina getting to the Eastern Conference Final and not winning a game finally this year, rather than Toronto. It's still hilarious. But dude, once Florida added Marshy and Kachuk got back to being healthy, and you got McJesus on the other side. I know I like Dallas, but when McJesus gets going, it's tough. They are a tough out. So could we see either a repeat, or if the Oilers pull it off, are we going to see a Canadian team finally win it since 1993? So those are the stakes that we have. Other than Dallas won it back in the 2010s. I forget exactly when, but they won it back then on that. Yeah. But it's not over as far as the Dallas Oilers series. It has happened, but it's very tough to do. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, we talk about the Oilers there. They lead 3-1 against Dallas, but they are without Sam Reinhart this year.
Mm-hmm.
Who, I guess, if you can't beat him, join him because he joined the Panthers during the season there. But yeah. So here we got some clips. This was, I mean, even though it wasn't enough, but here's the Hurricanes hype video for tonight.
Silence for once I went down when we came around. If we can't come in, we gon' dig in the ground. If we get stuck, we gon' find a way out. I know the charts, the routes, the clocks, the counts. That no one knows about. I know the code, the place, the time, the break again. Just how to play it, go. I'm
Yeah, I just thought, good job on that one, guys. That was a cool one. Dude, like the scrolling kind of effect with the seating side, I was like,
yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, such a great little touch, but not enough. Not enough. A video is not going to do shit for you if your team is just ultimately going to lose 5-3.
Yeah,
and they started off hot in the first period. The Canes scored 2 to the Panthers 0, but then the Panthers in the second period just went 3-0, and so got the lead 3-2, and then that was just basically pretty much kept pace in the third, and got 2 more scores to Carolina's 1. So they just could not get it done. But congrats to Sol and her Panthers. You guys are moving to the Stanley Cup Finals
again.
And
is 3 years in a row? It's 3 years in a row.
No, 3, because they played the Knights and they lost to the Knights. So yeah, this is the 3rd year in a row. But going on to the Dallas Stars and the Edmonton Oilers, they are yet to play tomorrow. So you're telling me there's a chance.
Yeah.
We need to get that clip. That's a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the most recent bout, the Leon Draisaitl and Corey Perry
nailed it.
Yep. So good. Each had a power play goal and an assist, and the Oilers took a commanding lead in the Western Conference Series final with a 4-1 victory over Dallas on Tuesday night. So with that, the Stars, God, man, they started off 6. They won 6-3 in the first bout.
Solid comeback, too.
God, man. Such a great game. Thought this was what the series was going to be. And then they just get absolutely routed. The Stars were supposedly one of the best power play teams. And it showed up in game 1. It has not shown again. Hopefully tomorrow they can find that power play. Maybe it's a Nintendo Power Glove. I don't know what it is that they need. But they need something because they are on life support. Since in the last 3 games, they have been outscored 13-2.
Jesus.
That, yeah. When you put it in context, it is so bad. They got shut out in game 2. They only got 1 point in game 3 and 4 each. And so we need another game 1, boys. It's going to be at Dallas. So let's rally. Let's get this going. Even if it goes back to Edmonton and they win, let's at least get a win tomorrow night so people can be happy, because Sunday we had a bunch of Dallas Stars fans at the hotel, and they were so depressed. There was a pool party. They had cabanas out there. They were watching the games and everything, and then they start leaving. And I was like, hey, have a good one. They're like, yeah. It's like, fuck you, Edmonton. You've ruined our guest experience. It's all your fault, Canadians. But yeah, we'll see. We shall see what happens tomorrow. Maybe they can extend it, but we'll. I don't know. I just don't have a whole lot of hope. We saw 2 3-1 teams today go on. Will tomorrow be the opposite? Will we see the 3-1 teams lose? Both teams are away, ironically, tomorrow. The Pacers are playing in New York, and the Edmonton Oilers are playing in Dallas. So we shall see what is going to happen. But any final thoughts on the NHL? It's been an exciting and crazy playoff so far.
I mean, as long as the Panthers keep winning, my announcer dude keeps firing off the gold that is his calls. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see if I kind of want Florida. If Dallas doesn't make it, I obviously want Florida to win because obviously bias here as a channel. So as a Florida Panthers fan, but also just to see Marshy just get traded to the Panthers and then win a cup, and the Bruins fans are still in shambles. You just gotta, sometimes you just want to see misery as much as you want to see winning. Especially when I've just been dealing with misery for about 20 years now. So it's fine. Well, I mean, Louisville won in 2013. We had a really good year there. But yeah, let's just say that past 10 been pretty shit.
Yeah, well, and let's kind of give some flowers. I mean, even though they're not out of it yet, the Stars had a pretty incredible save.
Into Nugent-Hopkins, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins wins the draw. Bouchard, hot shot into the glove of Ottinger.
Dude,
90.
like, yeah, and like just the way the goalies sometimes where they'll just look so badass because they nonchalantly just catch a 90-mile-an-hour puck, and the way he was just like, yeah, it's whatever. Like,
yep, got it. What's up? Yeah, I mean, same in baseball. Barehanded catch.
Yeah,
got it. It's like,
or that dude from Toronto when he like did that crazy, and he got up and was like, oh shit, I did that, didn't I? Like he had that look on his face, like, oh crap, I just did that.
Yeah, I think it might have been the Padres that did that. Yeah, but phenomenal regardless. But I mean, kind of in prep maybe for the potential Stanley Cup. The Oilers, man, and this is after their last win.
They're chanting your name. You've heard that before. Have you heard them tonight chanting, "We want the cup"? I mean, I can barely hear your questions. It's so loud, right? I mean, it shows you our fan base, how much they care, how much they love hockey. I mean, Edmonton is all oil. It's fun to play here.
All oil.
All oil.
They're all oil.
There, bud. They come out, they support.
Yep, and the lifeblood of this vehicle is not just oil; it's also the coach. Here's the coach on their mindset going into tomorrow.
Leon, you guys are going to get on a plane tomorrow up 3-1 in the series, heading to Dallas. I'm just wondering what the feeling in the group is.
We're going to Dallas to have the chance to move on to the Stanley Cup Finals. If that doesn't get you excited, I'm not sure what will.
Sorry, not the coach. That was a different one. But yeah. That was Leon. Let's do it, boys. Come on. Let's get this going.
Shock the world.
Yeah,
shock the world.
Shock them.
Be the stars that we know you are.
Yeah, exactly. But the coach one that we did have, I apologize, was the Panthers coach from their not tonight's game, but the one couple of nights ago.
Even in a game where you didn't love what you saw, Sergei keeping you guys in the game basically up until you have to pull him for the extra attacker. Just what did you like about how Bob was able to do what he could to keep you guys in striking range?
Yeah, I didn't like the last two at all. This gap was horse.
I don't know what's funny, the coach saying that he didn't like the gaps because they were horse shit, or the coach.
Dude, we've all been there. We've all been there. Sometimes we go to ask someone a question, and then you're everything. Just cat got your tongue, and he's just. And so his anxiety caught up to him. Thankfully, the coach didn't give shit to that guy. He just went right into it. It was effing bullshit. It was terrible. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. So, anything on hockey before we start to get out of here, Brad?
I mean, apparently I don't know it. So tune in next time where I will pick at the end of the Stanley Cup. I will pick whether or not Josh knows puck team to win it next year.
Yeah, for next year. Okay, there we go.
For next year,
I got you.
Because right now, the only thing I need is for me to pick the winner before the season starts, and the Toronto Maple Leafs to just get enough hope. Just enough. Because you know what hope is? It's when you trade for George Pickens and people keep hyping up, oh, we've got CD and George Pickens. I'm like, and we're going to sign Micah, so our defense is going to get better. I'm like, I've just quit doing this to me. You do it every year. It's like, here, do you want it? Oh. It's like that State Farm commercial with the guy on the dollar with the freaking rod. It's just like, oh, almost got it.
Gonna be anything quicker than that.
Oh god, gotta be quicker than that.
Oh my god, that's so good. Yeah, I'm sure someone's made a meme about it. If you find it, send it to us in the chats, because we love weird, and we're gonna get a little weird. And I think we got a video. I don't know if this is the sign-off video or not.
Might be.
Yeah, but we'll go ahead and watch this, and then then we'll do a little bit of our wrap up. Nope, I had Antonio Freeman still up. There we go. Gotta love this program.
Yep.
I'm 28 now.
Can you hear it?
I'm almost 30, but my pussy's old.
Yep.
I'm 28 now. I'm almost 30, but my pussy's old.
But my pussy's old. Oh my god. Yo, that is weird.
That's a good mic'd up moment.
Oh my god, Soul.
It's funny.
Yeah, I'm almost kind of got blushed on that one.
Yeah.
But Josh, I think that's all we got, man. We're at an hour and a half right on the dot. What you got?
Oh, we got Ruckus wrestling tomorrow. We got a lot of wrestling to talk about because we have 3 pay-per-view shows over the weekend. Much less all the crazy action that is happening every week on WWE and AEW. And we also sometimes touch on TNA. We definitely will be talking about TNA based off of what happened at NXT Battlegrounds over this past weekend. So we'll talk about the fallout there. And then there'll be some call-ups. So Justin and I just tuning over there at 8 Central, 9 o'clock Eastern for those things. Coming the first Friday, our REV Book Club will be coming back. And Sol and I will be breaking down Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Lang. That is the book that we will be doing there. Still on the fantastic side of things as far as the type of theme that it is in the world that it's in. But for anyone that also wants to join, we always love to have our patrons, our Discord members. Also, if you want to join our Patreon, it's there as well. Patreon.com/RuckusTV. I'd love to have you join over there. But also our Discord link is down below. It is free, so you don't have to pay for it. And you can also join us on those REV Book Club. So you pop in, talk with me and Sol about the book that is Blood Over Brighthaven, first Friday of every month.
Yeah, let's go. So you guys will be doing that here soon.
Yes,
next
we will
week.
be talking about Emma Wang.
Emma Wang, let's do it. And for everybody whose team won today.
If I say this is the greatest day of my life, does it spoil everything?
It doesn't spoil it. Who knows? But that's all for us, man. You guys take care. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.